Yes, people, welcome to the Shoestring Budget Podcast. Manchester United through to the final of the Carabao Cup after seeing over a very, fair to say, lacklustre Nottingham Forest team. To be fair to them, they came to Old Trafford, had a couple of very good chances in the first half, didn't take them. Game of if buts and maybes. Manchester United see it through. And we are going to Wembley. Yes! Buzzing. Happy. First final in years, 5 years now, I think. It's been very, very tough game coming up against Newcastle in that final. Sandwiched right between the Europa League games as well as the Premier League games. It's going to be so tough. And Newcastle will have a long break before that game. But let's talk about what we just saw. Manchester United, as I said, overcoming Nottingham Forest by 2-0. What a weird game that was. First half, all possession, no end product. Second half, all possession with end product. The game really changed with the introduction of our new front three, or arguably our first, or starting lineup, our starting front three, when we brought on Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford. Game really switched up there. We're going to do the player ratings, all that good stuff. How are you feeling? How are you feeling after all these years of not being able to make it to a final, and then we get there after winning 5-0 on aggregate? Took this team apart. Took them to the cleaners towards the end. They could have got something from this game today, but they just lacked that bit of quality, Nottingham Forest. And wish them all the best for the rest of their season. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe on the video. We've had a couple of subscribers today, which is really good during the watch along. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel. We've just reached our first 100. Very small channel, but we want to grow. We want to build a good community. We've already got loads of great people involved. And let's just keep the ball rolling, the proverbial ball that is. Let's just have a look here. Now, where are we? There we are. Tom Heaton coming in today to replace David De Gea, who was rested for this game. Still no Jack Butland. I'm not sure as to why Jack Butland's not getting a look in, but credit where it's due. Tom Heaton was brilliant today, did everything that was asked of him. Came off his line numerous times. Very quick coming off his line as well. No disrespect, but for a goalkeeper of his age, very, very fast coming off his line. Made himself big. Did what he needed to do, got the clean sheet, which is a bonus for him. I'm going to go and give him a 7.5. Don't think he did anything that set the world on fire, but thought he was really good. Asif's put here, still in shock about the penalty decision, man. We'll talk about that penalty decision at the end. Remind me, Asif, because that was shocking, man. You're absolutely right. I think I've put that out, tried to get that out of my head, because that was poor. But let's focus on the players. Tom Heaton, you're giving Tom Heaton an 8. I'm going with a 7.5. Solid performance from him today. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Can't really think of any times he did stuff, overlapped well, defended well. 7. Didn't do anything again too creative, but he had Dennis on toast. Dennis was just hitting the ground every time there was a gust of wind at Old Trafford. Every time a bit of rain touched him, that man hit the sack, hit the deck. So it was a difficult game in a way for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to go against someone as theatrical as that. But he did his job, did what he needed to do. And got into some good positions to create chances. So yeah, I'm going with that. Asif's put 8. 8 again, just one missed pass. Yeah, he did what he needed to do. Again, another steady performance from Raphael Varane. The man that's sort of there when we need him. Forest, like I say, created 2 chances, I think, in that game. The crosses that came in, Varane dealt with comfortably. And again, that partnership that he's got with Lisandro Martinez is so invaluable. It is reminiscent of Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. The way that them two defend together, it's beautiful to watch. And for those of you that are old enough to remember those days with Rio and Nemanja at the back, it was just solidity that you needed and confidence in your back line, and that's exactly what we've got with our current back line. Even with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I know he's had his critics, Not from me. I've always liked Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But defensively, can't argue with how good Manchester United are. 7.5 for me for Varane. Lisandro Martinez. Oh, quickly just going to catch up on some comments. Asif has said here, Varane, 9, not a point less. Not a point less. Yeah, I think I'm sure from the watch along, he was your choice for man of the match, Rafael Varane. But, alright, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8 just for you, Asif. I'll bump him up. Lisandro Martinez, I love this guy. Love his tenacity. Love the way that he positions himself. I love the progressive way that he defends. He can win the ball back and he's almost turns into a midfielder the way that he goes forward. A completely different kind of play to what we've used to with Harry Maguire and Lindelof. Just the way he brings the ball out and the way that he can hold up the ball, how strong he is, how quick he is. He's the full package. And he got so much stick for his height. Doesn't matter. He can leap. This boy's got it all. I'm going to give him an 8.5. He's just got everything that he needs. And it's just that tenacity from him that I really like. And I think really stands him out above the rest. I love him. Now, Luke Shaw, I'm a bit mixed on Luke Shaw. I don't know what to think of Luke Shaw today. Going forward, yeah, he was all right. It was good actually going forward, but it was his last ball. It was the final ball and his touch that let him down big time today. So I don't know what to really make of Luke Shaw. 7.5 kind? 7.5. I'll have to go back and give Aaron Wan-Bissaka an 8. I'll give this guy a 7.5. I thought he was the worst of the back four, but I don't mean that as a criticism. I mean, the back four was solid, and he just looked maybe slightly the weakest. I could be wrong. Judging by Asif in the comments, gone with a 7 for sure. Yeah, I just wasn't impressed with the end ball, last bit of delivery. That's it for me with him anyway. Casemiro, yet again, had the whole Nottingham Forest midfield on toast. This guy is insane. The general, the main man, the steady Eddie, the steadiest of Eddiests, the man, Casemiro. Look at that smile. Love Casemiro. And again, class performance from him. Gotta give him a 9. You know, the way that he took out, I think it was Dennis. He slid in, didn't make contact with him, but just the tenacity, the fight and the desire. Should have had a goal. Very good save from Hennessy to deny Casemiro in the first half, but really, really good performance again. And this guy is... What he has achieved in terms of love from the community, from the Manchester United fan base, is immeasurable. I've not seen another player come to Old Trafford and have the impact immediately right from the off that this guy has had. I can't think of another player. But yeah, he is so lovable. He loves playing for Manchester United. You can see he plays so much with a badge. He's not here for money. He's not here for ill-gotten gains. He is here because he loves what we're building, and he's fallen in love with the fans, and the fans in turn have fallen in love with him. Big up Casemiro. The man. The other man. The Fred. This guy is transformed under Eric Ten Hag. Another player. A player that kind of goes under the radar when we talk about players that have improved under Eric Ten Hag. We always talk about players like Rashford, Martial, Varane, Shaw, Malacia. We don't talk about Fred a lot of the time. And the work rate of this guy is unmatched, but it's just how unselfish he is. He makes such good runs, drags players along with him, gets into really good positions. I mean, look at the goal that he scored today, just ghosted in there. He's just perfect. I really love what Fred has become under Eric Ten Hag. I know that he's capable of dropping a 2 out of 10, but at the moment he's hitting 8s and 9s. I'm going to give him a 9 today. Got a goal, Did really, really well. That goal that he scored, the build-up play to that goal, is probably the worst, the easiest finish in history. Almost just sort of shimmied it in with his cock. It was easy, but he did the business, did what he needed to do, and yeah, I've got to give him a 9. Craig's put here, Casemiro gets a 9 and the Sky commentary gets a 0. Bro, the Sky commentary team today, they were just so against United. But take comfort from that. That means we're back. We're cooking. We're back. We're back in a big time. We're rattling these pundits. They don't like Manchester United being back up there. But, yeah. Asses put here, gosh, I feel great to rate our players this season. Everyone is above a 7 in every game. It's perfect. I said this during the watch along. I am so happy to have started this podcast with Tom and the other boys that were involved before. So happy that we started this season, because as a Manchester United fan, I can't thrive on negativity. I know a lot of fan channels have been accused of that in the past. I just can't. It's just not in me. And to just be positive and to be around positivity is just what you want. It's perfect. But that's a great comment, Asif. Craig's put here, 7 for Fred. Wow, 7. Runs for days, has improved this season, better on the ball, better positional play, and scored a good goal. So I'm going for a 9 for Fred. Asif's gone for an 8. Got a collection of numbers. A man that still can divide the numbers and divide opinions, but everybody can agree that he has improved massively this season. Captain Fantastico Bruno played really well, very unlucky not to get a goal. Probably should have passed it instead of trying to tuck it in there. Only missed by inches. But solid again. I like what I like about Bruno is he's a proper captain. He's mouthy. I know a lot of people don't like that, but for me, I like that. I grew up with the Roy Keanes, the Patrick Vieiras that were in everybody's face. They were always moaning at the ref. That were kicking around at other players, even in their own team, demanding more, demanding better, and being disappointed when they let the team down. And you saw moments of all of those things from Bruno, and you see it every game. When he doesn't pick out the right pass, or if somebody doesn't pick him out, there was a chance where Casemiro broke through the middle, and he passed it out to Garnacho, I think it was. And Bruno was next to him, and Bruno started screaming at him like, give me the ball. Casemiro, in my opinion, made the right choice, but it's just the fire that he plays with that I absolutely love. And I think is so infectious with Bruno Fernandes. Was it his best game? No. But there's a lot of good qualities about Bruno that we've got to talk about. Craig's player was 7 a bit harsh. I might change if you convince me, says Craig about Fred. I just think his work rate and I always talk about off the ball, how he plays off the ball. He drags so many players with him and he gets into positions. He can sometimes just appear like he did for the goal. He's a very clever player and he's a lot better than we give him credit for. But, your opinion, bro. That's what this game's about. Craig's put 7.5 for Bruno. The pass for Fred's goal was unbelievable. Yeah, the outside of the boot. Pete's not included him in his man of the match poll is criminal. He's got to be up there. I'm personally giving him an 8.5. I think he's got to be in the conversation for man of the match. For me, there's got to be Martinez. I just love Martinez. Whether or not he's a man of the match is another thing, but definitely Casemiro. Arguably Rashford and Martial for me. Craig's put, you've convinced me, I'll give him an 8. You're right, he does things that go unnoticed. My man. Pete's put here, 7, thought he was okay, just others were better for me. And Asif's put, we got 6 games to play before the final. That is harsh on our players. And Asif, that's the big worry for me. Going into that final, having just played, I'm sure it's the second leg of Barcelona that we play. 3 or 4 days before. Newcastle have a week off. It's very demanding. But it's because we are doing so well in the competitions. It's because we're in the FA Cup. We're obviously in the Prem. We're in the Europa League. And now we're in the final of the Carabao Cup. We're fighting on 4 fronts. With a team that's capable of fighting on arguably 2, I'd say. And that's at a push. Anthony. Anthony. I don't even know. I thought he was our best player in the first half in terms of actually trying to go for the win. He's so direct, and I love that. He's just, I don't know. I will never write this guy off until he's been here for 2 or 3 years. If he's performing like this after 3 years, I'd write him off. I'm really sorry about all the water in my throat, as you can hear it's going. Assis put 6.5, and I think that's probably about right. 6, I'd go with a 7 maybe. Because I thought he was the most direct player in that first half, but he's such a divisive player. And I really can understand the criticism when it comes to Anthony. Craig's put, I think Newcastle will fold under the pressure and the occasion will be too much. Nobody in the squad has made it to the final as far as I know. The momentum might benefit us. If we have a very good result, you could look at it two ways. If we have a good result against Barcelona and we go through, we'll be pumped. If we lose, Eric Ten Hag will demand a reaction. Either way is good for us. That's why I love this manager. I trust him fully. But you're absolutely spot on there. It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure on Newcastle, but it's also a physical demand on us. Pete's put here 6.5 or a 7. Him and Aaron Wan-Bissaka linked up well down the right. Their link-up play is working. It's coming together really nice. 7 for Anthony, says Craig. He's improving, and the improved link-up play with Wan-Bissaka is helping him. I've just seen Phil's name appear, and I already know it's going to be a very low rated 2. I kid. No. He's so... I don't know what it is. He's going to come good. I trust him. But it's just not there yet. I think now Jadon Sancho's come back into the fold. Might be the catalyst for change when it comes to Anthony. But 7, 6s and 7s across the board for Anthony. Now Garnacho. Bit of a mixed bag. So, arguably as direct as Anthony, if not a little bit more actually. Wan-Bissaka gets a 3 from me. The agenda is real. Garnacho, so well, so good at taking players on, players that have played a lot more than he has. He's quality, this kid. He needs to work on his end ball and his sort of... I suppose because like I said during the watch log, he cuts in so much. He cuts inside so much. When he went and did stuff on the outside, it was really effective. Just his last ball. Very similar score to Anthony for me. I would give him a 7. And there was a lot of afters. I think it was the right time to take him off. There was a lot going on between him and Brennan Johnson. There was a lot of nastiness. There was VAR checked for something I didn't see. I don't know what happened. Craig makes a good point. Needs to hit the gym. I mean, that's rich coming from me, but technically that's coming from me, but I agree with you. Yeah, he needs to bulk up a bit. Vaghorst, not his best game. Didn't have the service. Let down quite a few times, but had the one chance to hit the post. Very tough chance to take. For me, Vaghorst has got to be held back by the fact that we don't create. The fact that he's going to be limited to probably 1 or 2 chances a game. That's got to be what holds Vaghorst back. His tracking was unreal again. His defensive work, phenomenal. There was one point he ended up at right back with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I was like, what's he doing there? He's everywhere, that guy. Brilliant. But he's going to struggle from our lack of creativity. That's the brutal truth. Pete's here, I think about Garnacho. 8, he was superb for me. He was our most threatening player before he went off. Needs to work on that final ball. That was definitely about Garnacho. Craig's put here, it was a graveyard shift. His link-up play was very good, though. He needs to cross the ball a lot more for him. He gets a 6. Again, it's what we said. We said this before we signed him. It's got to be a graveyard shift playing as Manchester United's number 9 at the moment. He does need a little bit more creativity around him. He's a player that you can see clearly thrives off balls into the box, clever link-up play. He's a good player. He's a good player. I do like him. I see a lot of fans give him stick, calling him the Dutch Andy Carroll. I was almost culpable of that before we signed him, but I couldn't say that after seeing his performances. He's nothing like Andy Carroll. He doesn't injure anyone for a start. That's all Andy Carroll seems to do. Still very bitter. Wow. So, breaking news. Pete's United point of view. The CEO of the Wout Weghorst fan club has just put this comment up. Weghorst 6.5 or a 7. He was great pressing, just didn't get enough service. That's the lowest score I've ever seen Pete give. Pete usually gives man of the match to Weghorst. Now he gets a 6.5 or a 7. Times are changing. Assets by here, Craig. That will make us more dependent on him. We are good. What I liked was the shift. We're going to see these players now. When we were able to bring on our starting, what I should think should be our starting front three. Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford. Just the fact that if that's our starting front three, when they get tired or we need to bring them off, having Wout Weghorst, Garnacho and Anthony come on in their place, or Anthony or Jadon Sancho, I can see them two maybe fighting for that first team spot. It's great. It's great backup to have. Really is great backup to have. And that was nice to see. And that ultimately is what changed the game, as we will discuss now. Let's just have a quick look here. Anthony Martial scored a goal. His link-up play was brilliant. He looked so alive, so on it today. I'm going to give him an 8.5. We've seen such a lethargic Anthony Martial since the World Cup, since Christmas. He's been slow and I just think lethargic, best way I could describe it. Today he looked dynamic, he looked aggressive, he looked fiery, fast, passionate, everything that you want to see. The best that we ever see from Anthony Martial is when he has all those things going for him. And today he definitely came onto the pitch wanting to fight. And that's all I want, to be honest. That's all I want from Anthony Martial. I want goals and fight. You get those things, best striker. Craig's for here, the substitutions changed the game. When you think about it, it was good to have. We have good depth in the attacking areas, but we lack everywhere else. It was quite shocking, actually, when you saw them front three come on. It was like a bit eye-opening that, oh my gosh, this is the line that we saw in the first half was almost our backup team. And now we're bringing on the proper players. It was like, oof. Barcelona is 8 points clear in La Liga. God, it feels scary to face them. I'm not scared of anything. I'm scared in terms of, I suppose I'm slightly intimidated by the fact we play so many games before playing them. This season for me, if we can get a trophy in top four, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Pete's put here, Martial 8 was superb when he came on. Link-up play was elite. Craig agrees with that 8.8 for Martial. Much improved performance. He looks motivated. Motivated is the word, Craig. La Liga is crap as if, said Craig. I agree. Yeah, Lewandowski plays for them. We've got Martinez and Varane. Enough said. Luke Shaw pocketed Haaland. I'm sure he could pocket Lewandowski. Everybody in the comments, this is so nice to see. So confident. We'll beat Barcelona comfortably, as if. Don't panic, says Pete. I love that. I love the hopefulness of Manchester United fans at the moment. We haven't seen that for many years. Marcus Rashford. 2 assists. Fiery. Should have maybe got a goal. Unlucky not to get the goal that ultimately led to Martial tapping it in. He's got to have an 8.5 for me. Really good. Phenomenal season. 2 assists instead of 2 goals that he usually gets. And I'm super happy with everything he's doing. Long may it continue. Craig's put here, La Liga is the equivalent of the bottom half of the Premier League. It's so poor, apart from the 3 big teams. It's hard to argue with that. There was a time where La Liga was so competitive. Not in terms of like, it was always Barcelona or Real Madrid, but Atleti were a real threat. Valencia were a threat. Sociedad, Villarreal. It's all seemed to have gone back to just the two teams now. And to be honest, looking at Barcelona's team, they don't scare me like they used to. If we were playing Barcelona 6 or 7 years ago, then I wouldn't be looking forward to that fixture at all. But they've still got a good squad, but they're a team you forget that dropped out of the Champions League. They weren't good enough to make the Champions League, same as us. Oh, so you know what I mean? It's one of them. Craig's giving Rashford an 8 because of the impact he made. Pete's put 7.5, 2 assists and a good little cameo and lucky not to score. So 7.5s, 8.5s and 8s across the board. High scores regardless for Marcus. The return of Jaden. Shame we didn't get a goal. To be honest, didn't see much of him in this game. Am I stressed about that? No. First game back. What I loved was the ovation that he got when he came on. Hearing the United fans cheer when his name was read out, we knew it was going to happen. We've got the best fan base in the world. The best fan base that are at Old Trafford. I've been many, many times, and it's just a wonderful atmosphere. They would have welcomed him back with open arms, which they did. I knew that was going to be the case. Fair play, Jaden. I'm gonna give him a 7. Don't think he did too much. It's gonna be it's a big rebuild with Jadon Sancho. I didn't expect him to come in and hit the ground running. I would like to have seen him maybe start, but it's fatigue and getting into match fitness again. Nice little cameo. But for me, it will do wonders for his confidence, just having that ovation from the fan base. Asif's put here, English teams have a very poor record against the Spanish teams. United don't have any good record against Spanish teams. Poor. But I think because Barcelona will come at us. If you look at the Spanish teams we've played over the years, they're very defensive. And we look even Nottingham Forest rather. I hate saying Nottingham Forest. They defended and we really struggled to break down low blocks. We really struggle. We always have. We have done for years. Having a team that come at us where we can potentially hit on the counter-attack plays right into our playbook. Sancho gets 7 from Asif, 6.5 from Craig. Just glad to see him back. Yeah, and he was involved in Fred's goal. I'll up it to a 7.6. 7 or a 6.5 is harsh, yeah. 7's good. Sancho 7 from Pete as well. 7, he was okay. Made some intelligent movements and was surprised that he went in at 10. Yeah, that was weird. Tom pointed that out to me as well because I didn't notice at first. They played Bruno out on the right, Sancho in the 10 in Bruno's position. But I'd go with whatever Ten Hag wants. And that's everybody. Back to Tom Heaton. Obviously, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire came on later on into the game. 10 minutes to go. Didn't really have anything to do. Give them 6s and 7s. Doesn't really matter. They were there. Does anybody else, right, I'm going to quickly ask this to you guys. Does anybody else think it's weird that Harry Maguire was brought on with 10 minutes to go when he's our club captain? Like, I feel like it's a bit harsh on him, to be honest. I don't know. There's something that seems weird about that. Bruno didn't give Maguire the armband. Love to see. Yeah, I saw that. It took about 5 minutes for Maguire to even get hold of that armband. I thought that was interesting as well. Pete's put here, microwave Barry. Savran actually made a few decent passes. And as his put, I have a feeling Sancho is being turned into a number 10. I think so. We need backup in that position, though. You know, if Bruno ever gets injured, Donny's injured, Eriksen's injured, Sancho is our fourth choice 10. Might just have to be what it is. But yeah, I just think it was something weird about Harry Maguire coming on that late in a game that we were 5-0 up in. I don't know. Lindelof as a CDM was interesting too. Do you know what? I made that case a few years ago. I would love to see Lindelof turned into a CDM. His long range passing is brilliant. He's obviously fairly capable of defending. Whether or not he can read the game is another thing. But as a backup CDM, to be honest, I'd rather see Lindelof over McTominay. That sounds harsh, but that's just it. Craig's, but I think Ten Hag just brought Maguire on for the sake of it. Use up to 5 subs and it will keep him happy. If you're Harry Maguire, you're the club captain. Your team is 5-0 up. You brought on with 10 minutes to play. I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with me. You're going to hear a lot about this over the next few weeks on Sky and TalkSport and whatever else. They're going to go into depth about is Harry Maguire being disrespected, and I don't think he's being disrespected. I think it's the correct decision from Erik Ten Hag, but I just think we should have let him go. I really do think we should have just let him go in January. But heard Sir Alex Ferguson has played with 7 defenders in the Champions League back in time. Not sure though. Probably. There was one game, I think, was it Arsenal? We played a really weird team. We ended up winning 2-0, I think. Against Arsene Wenger's Arsenal as well. Sir Alex Ferguson used to pull off some madness. If you look back at some of the teams that he put together in some big games, weird how it worked. McSnail will be gone in the summer, I'm sure of it. So it was obviously, there was that Inter Milan wanted him in January, whether or not he was on loan or... I wouldn't let him go on loan. I think he needs to be sold. I feel it's a bit harsh on him, but it's deserved as well. It's a hard one. My thoughts contradict each other on it. Craig's but Maguire just wants to be on the pitch. He doesn't care if he gets 5 or 10 minutes. I think he knows that Ten Hag doesn't fancy him, so he's just going through the motions. I think it's that face reality of Ten Hag not wanting him at Old Trafford. Whether or not it's down to him being good enough or not, I don't think that's really open for debate. But I think in the kindest possible way, he doesn't suit the High Line. He doesn't suit Erik Ten Hag's style. He shouldn't be at Manchester United. And it's just, I don't know, I just feel sorry for him because he's not a bad lad. He's gone through some absolute abuse over the years. But to be brought on with 10 minutes to play as club captain, I don't know, just doesn't sit right with me. I guess it's because it's something that we don't get to see a lot of. But that's just me. Anyway, thank you to everybody who has joined in the comments. We'll make sure we do a live stream again at some point this week. So we can all catch up again. It's been nice talking to you all. Catch up on these comments. I think Inter will be back in for him in the summer to replace Skriniar. Do we know what's going on? I cannot pronounce his name. You know my pronunciations are like Skriniar. Do we know what's happening with him now? Because he was linked with us and I don't know where he's off to. Italian league will suit him as the pace isn't as quick. Harry Maguire will look like Nemanja Vidic in the Italian league. He's going to be incredible. And we're going to be bombarded with memes saying, you let your guy go, rah. Same as Smalling, but... Oh, PSG, okay. Apparently he wants to win a trophy at United and he'll consider his future in the summer. Okay, that's fair enough. Peace, says Asif. Peace, my man. And Craig's put he's going PSG. Yeah, brilliant signing for PSG. Brilliant all round. Big up to everybody in the comments. Big up to everybody that's watched and subscribed today as well. Thank you. Had a couple of subscribers, which is great. Loving seeing the growth. And clicked on the wrong button. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.